Hello everybody and welcome to Parks Bros. It's Drew here, and today I'm going to be counting down 5 Easter eggs that you can find around Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, California. Now, Easter eggs, if you did not know, are hidden references to things such as pop culture or potentially personal references, but is mainly found in theme parks in the way of historical references, looking back at old rides and attractions and trying to preserve them in smart and small ways. Now, Knott's, since it is its 100th anniversary this year, has had tons of history behind it, and in addition to that, even more Easter eggs and references to that ridiculously detailed century. So I figured, why not today go over 5 Easter eggs you can find within the park right now. The Calico River territory on the outskirts of Calico in the southern half of the park is home to 3 different rides and attractions, including the fun family coaster Pony Express, the mystical Mystery Lodge, and the star attraction being Calico River Rapids. Now, Calico River Rapids opened up in the year of 2019 as a revitalized addition to the park from its original Bigfoot River Rapids. Now, of course, on the ride today, you can find yourself a Bigfoot, but in the past, when the attraction was originally Bigfoot River Rapids, there was no physical Bigfoot except for over in a pond in between the entrance for the Rapids and Mystery Lodge. Here you can find 6 stones in particular that have been arranged in a way to make it look like a Bigfoot footprint, and this alludes, of course, to this mythical beast that is supposedly running rampant within the Calico River territory. As I previously mentioned, Knott's Berry Farm is turning 100 years old this year, and that's because the Knott's family ended up moving to the area on December 8th of 1920, and of course that was the beginning of the ever so famous Roaring Twenties. And while Walter and Cordelia Knott would end up farming berries and cooking some good chicken dinners during that decade, it wouldn't really take off until a few decades later. Now, of course, by 1955, they had a merry-go-round and a pretty massive ghost town, but the park would expand yet again to add the area Gypsy Camp. Now, Gypsy Camp, while it was short-lived, did house the John Wayne Theater, which is actually still there today and is now called the Charles M. Schulz Theater, and much has changed in that area since. By 1975, however, this area of the park became the Roaring Twenties and housed some amazing new attractions like the first ever modern inverting coaster, Corkscrew, and the much beloved dark ride Knott's Berry Tales, which is actually being reincarnated this year as part of the 100th anniversary celebration in Knott's Berry Tales Return to the Fair. This area of the park was absolutely adored by many a guest that came through, but nowadays we know this area of the park as the Boardwalk, and besides Berry Tales coming back, there isn't too many references to what the area used to be, except for one main one, and that's this secret speakeasy next to the entrances of the Charles M. Schulz Theater, which if you press a doorbell, you'll get to listen inside. While Disneyland just down the road has Mickey Mouse, Knott's Berry Farm has Snoopy the Beagle. Snoopy and the rest of the Peanuts gang have been an absolute staple of Knott's Berry Farm since 1982 when Camp Snoopy was introduced as a brand new kids area focused around the Peanuts from the famous comic strip by Charles M. Schulz. This land is still around today and is definitely thriving with new refurbishments as well as new rides in just the past couple of years. But surprisingly, there is one hidden Snoopy within the park, and it's definitely not where you would expect it. At a crossroads between the Boardwalk section of the park and Ghost Town, there's the Charleston Circle, which features a pretty famous fountain that actually can be found in the film adaptation of Hello Dolly. But on one of the fences that surrounds the planters, you might be able to find our favorite beagle friend in hidden form. But this just confirms Disneyland is not the only park in Orange County with its main mascot hidden inside of ordinary things. Hang Time, California's first infinity dive coaster, opened in 2018 with a 96-degree beyond vertical drop and multiple inversions throughout its layout. Now, historians of the park may know that there were 2 prior coasters in the plot of land that Hang Time now takes up. Those include the ever-famous Corkscrew that opened in 1975 as the world's first modern looping coaster, and Boomerang, a Vekoma boomerang that would send you forwards and backwards through 3 different inversions, opened in 1990. Now, both of those coasters, of course, closed, one before the other, until Hang Time has now taken up the plot of land in the past 2 years. Hang Time, of course, has a record-breaking 96-degree drop, which is the steepest in all of California, and features the park's first ever vertical lift hill. Now, that's not all the ride has to offer. There are 5 different inversions throughout the layout, but 3 of them actually allude to the coasters that were in the spot prior. First, of course, is a corkscrew that harkens back to the corkscrews of Corkscrew when it was in that section of the park. And second, you'll find one of the final elements of the ride, the Cobra Roll, which offers 2 daring inversions, which is in almost the exact same spot where the original Cobra Roll of Boomerang resided. Who knew that you could even have Easter eggs from the layout of a coaster? In 1960, 60 years ago this year, the most innovative dark ride attraction that Southern California had ever seen opened at the farm in the Calico Mine ride. Now, this ride was designed and built by Bud Hurlbut, and it put the park even more on the map. Even Walt Disney himself was flabbergasted at this brand new immersive train ride, and he wanted to know everything about it. Now, this train ride through the Calico Mines shows off what it was really like to be a miner back in the late 1800s, trying to find gold and strike riches. But for as amazing as the original attraction was, every ride needs some touch-up after a few decades. So just a handful of years ago, Knott asked Garner Holt Productions to bring new life to this amazing ride. They did so in stunning fashion with new lighting, new effects, and of course a whole host of new animatronics. But of course that's not the only thing they put in there. They put some Easter eggs in as well. Before you board the train, make sure you check out the ticket seller's office, because there you'll find pieces of paper commissioning the mine with the signatures of Walter Knott and Bud Hurlbut. Now, this is just an absolutely cool piece that is quite hard to spot. But speaking of that, I'm gonna give you a 2-for-1 and talk about another Easter egg within the same attraction that you'll find just before the lift hill, and that of course is a barrel that says Garner and Holt Co. But that was just a quick list of some of the Easter eggs we've found throughout Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, California. Are there any that we haven't talked about yet that you'd love to see? Well, make sure to go comment down below. And if you want to see more of this series, make sure to let us know and subscribe. But I do want to say before I go, thank you so much for watching. It means the world. But until next time, we'll see you on the next ride.